Hey guys, it's Robert again, bringing you another video. I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I've had leg injuries, or leg injury, and school just been keeping me up. But as far as the project plane that I was working on since last year, there's been multiple versions that have came out, and then the last one that I'm working on, I'll show you right now. So this is what you're looking at is the front of it. It was a team plane. This was the second prototype actually, but I improved it and kind of went on my own in terms of making it better or adding things, certain things that make it to the first version of this prototype, which was unfortunate. So the plane is basically supposed to be a glider, motorized glider, but I have a battery that gives you enough flight time so you could use it without having to be a glider. You could also use that as like a trainer plane as well. The ailerons are not installed yet, but they have the ability to be installed. Now this wire here is extra long, but once it's trimmed down, then it will activate the ailerons. So in terms of wingspan, it's a very big plane. As you can see, this is the size of my hand. This is the almost the entire plane. I can't really probably show it, but it's like about 50 feet. I mean, not 50 feet, 50 inches, 50 inches in wingspan. So, and this is almost all of the fuselage. There's still the tail section that needs to be printed. This is all 3D printed, except for some of the pieces like the propellers, the wheels. And then to give you an idea, so I want some of the mainly all of this part of the plane I've designed. There was another partner in the team that designed this section, and then I just optimized it a lot more. So so there was that part. The first wing iteration was like this, and so it didn't have any wing tips. The ailerons were huge, probably bigger than they had to be. These are a raked wingtip, which I designed myself in Solidworks. So they give you that nice streamline. So they push the air about the away from the wing a little, and they cover part of the ailerons. So so the ailerons are stretched out about 14 inches from what I recall. I'm still working on the landing gear. So the landing gear, that's why I'm not leaning on the landing gear right now, on the plane, because it needs some reinforcement over here, because these flex too much. This is like 3D print. This is 3D printed PLA. Yeah, and they flex too much. Now, in terms of how this front is made, is it has a detachable top. Now it's hard to take it off one-handedly, and I kind of don't want to break this, but if you took it off, what you would see is that in the inside, this is another section that I printed, there's a part that's made so you could actually mount the battery, and so it could be it won't touch the speed controller. The motor goes in here. It has enough ample space to push the screws in with a screwdriver, because they're not going to just go through, they're gonna, with friction, they're gonna get a little stuck, so you need to push them with a screwdriver. Also too, there's enough room for ventilation, and there's some vent holes here. At the same time, the way this has the angle, you could have a folding prop, or you could not have a folding prop, where it'll still work fine. The holes here are reinforced on the sides on this one. This one, they're not as reinforced, but they still work. This also has a design kind of like a beam, which reinforces the bottom, so it's a little more rigid. And then these sections, they just plug in, you put some CA glue, and then they're ready to go. Now, in terms of why this geometry, well, this geometry here is because this will give it more rigidity. And because if this was to belly land, this part here will be very weak. This front section as well, but this front section needs to be rounded just for the motor. In terms of why there's a hole on top, that's because your receiver, so this is an RC plane, so you have to have your receiver someplace away from your battery and speed controller, because those are known to be signal blockers. So it's up here. Your servo motors that control your rudder, aileron, rudder and elevator, they actually go in the middle over here. And then if I look at the bottom of the plane, this is where I have my servos controlling my ailerons. There's a metal rod that goes along this little round corridor, and then it bends sharp 90 to where you see that metal rod sticking out. And then when you activate this, it goes up, goes down, so it will move the aileron just as such. And then the opposite side would go for the other aileron. So that's partly what I've been working on so far. And yeah, so stay tuned for more things coming up in terms of 1/6 scale stuff that should be coming up, and Western clothing things that'll be also coming up very soon. So stay tuned to that, and see you in the next one.